I have spent 6 years grieving my relationship with my brother. What do I do now? I've been carrying this for 6 years: rage, sadness, confusion, disappointment, and grief. Even now, my heart aches for what happened to my family. Sometimes, it feels like I'm grieving someone who is still very much alive. I'll try to stick to the facts because if I start with my emotions, this post will never end. Please forgive me if this is long. This is 6 years worth of drama, hurt, and unresolved feelings, and it's really difficult to compress everything into a single post without leaving out important context. My brother, 34M, and I, 26F, were very close growing up. We had typical sibling fights, but we genuinely loved each other. The only thing worth mentioning is that when I was a rebellious teenager, we got into an argument and he slapped me hard across the face. I honestly don't remember what it was about anymore, but that detail becomes important later. In 2019, my brother met his first girlfriend, 28F now. In 2020, he moved out, and she eventually moved in with him. According to them, she was trying to get away from an abusive mother. Around that same time, he would constantly vent to me about their relationship. He told me she would block him before they lived together, call him names, threaten breakups whenever convenient, and make him feel stressed and miserable. This was his first relationship, and during the pandemic, he would often message me saying he was thinking about leaving her. As his little sister, I sided with him. Based on the stories he was telling me, I thought she treated him terribly. I remember telling him he deserved better and that, for someone who presented herself as religious and prayerful, she seemed to have a very rotten attitude behind closed doors. That same year, she gained access to his Facebook and Messenger because she wanted to know if people were talking about her. According to my brother, she read everything. That included his conversations with my mom, my conversations with him, and all the negative things I had said about her based on what he had been telling me. She became furious and wanted nothing to do with me or my family after that. At the time, I was going through an extremely painful breakup myself and was more angry that she had gone through our private conversations than concerned about her feelings. I never apologized. She never apologized for snooping, either. My relationship with my brother changed after that. We still talked, but it felt like she was always watching. He became careful with what he said, and our conversations felt less natural. In early 2022, my brother tried to reconcile things between us. He created a group chat and encouraged us to talk. I was the first one to reach out. I said hello, apologized, and told her I hoped we could start over. I expected some acknowledgement that reading our private messages was wrong, but instead, she said my brother had been overreacting and that it wasn't a big deal. I found that strange, considering it had caused a year-long conflict, but I let it go because I wanted peace. Surprisingly, things improved. We became friendly, talked regularly, and eventually started calling each other sisters. I genuinely thought we had moved past everything. In November 2022, my mom and I were meeting friends near where my brother lived. Since we were all supposedly okay now, we invited both him and his girlfriend. At first, he said they couldn't make it. Then he changed his mind. Then he almost canceled again. By the time we arrived at the mall, my mom was disappointed because she hadn't seen him in years, and it felt like he was backing out. Eventually, he showed up, but he looked exhausted. The first thing he told us was that he had fought through hell just to get there. When we asked what happened, he shook his head and didn't answer. Later that day, my mom told me that his girlfriend had been on a voice call with him the entire time. She was threatening to leave him and return to the province if he didn't come home immediately. My mom even invited her to join us because she genuinely wanted to meet her, but she refused. My brother spent the visit looking stressed while trying to act normal. After that day, his girlfriend stopped talking to me and my mom again. I had no idea why. I was confused because I genuinely thought we had fixed our relationship. When I asked my brother what happened, he stayed silent. I acknowledged that I had said hurtful things, and if she didn't forgive me, fine. But to act like everything was okay for months felt off, almost like revenge. All I know is that it was obvious she never forgave me, and it all felt fake. By 2023, things became even worse. On my mom's birthday, my brother came home to visit without his girlfriend. For a few hours, it felt like old times. We laughed at memes, joked around, and talked like siblings again. Then I noticed his phone constantly blowing up with calls and messages. He later admitted he had basically made tacos, snuck out just to visit us. He had to turn his phone off at some point because it was getting really bad. The next day, he looked exhausted. Apparently, she had spent the night bombarding him with messages and calls. When I confronted him, he finally explained why she supposedly hated me again. According to her, on top of the 2020 incident, I had allegedly fat-shamed her, which is completely false. The only time I talked about body parts with her was when I joked that our butts were probably flat from working from home for so long. I have receipts. He also told me she got offended because, during the November 2022 meetup, I told him, "Idi ikaw na lang sa mama," or then just come here alone, when she didn't want to come because she was sick. I only said it because I wanted to see my brother. Somehow, that became proof that I hated her. And according to my brother, she was worried that we would say things about her behind her back. Huh? I completely lost my temper. We got into a huge fight. I told him he was allowing her to isolate him from everyone who cared about him. He told me to shut up. During that argument, I got a glance at their messages where she called our family walang kwento, worthless, and said, "Buti sana kung mabuting pamilya yang pamilya mo," maybe if your family were actually a good family. I couldn't believe someone could speak about my family that way and that he would continue defending her. He left anyway. I cried my eyes out after he walked out the door. That was the last real conversation we ever had. In 2024, my grandmother celebrated her 80th birthday. It was a huge family event, and everyone expected my brother to be there because my grandmother adored him. He didn't come. He gave another excuse, but by that point, everyone already knew the real reason. My mom was heartbroken. Not long after that, I discovered that both of them had blocked me everywhere: Facebook, Messenger, and eventually even LinkedIn. WTF? The strange part was that I hadn't contacted them in months. I wasn't bothering them. I was simply living my life. When my mom asked my brother about it, he apologized and said, "It wasn't me, Mama, I'll fix it." That told me everything I needed to know. He wasn't protecting me, defending me, or standing up for me. There was a lot of tension afterward because my mom confronted him about missing such an important family event. Looking back, my family thinks that the pressure of being expected to attend a family gathering may have aggravated his girlfriend and that she ended up taking it out on me. We can't prove it, of course, but the timing lines up with when I was suddenly blocked everywhere despite having no contact with either of them for months. My mom eventually met with him and his girlfriend. They wanted to fix things, but he specifically requested that I not be there. That hurt more than I can describe. It confirmed what I had already suspected: whatever reconciliation existed between me and her had been fake. I was disgusted. Life moved on after that. I moved out, built a happy relationship, and eventually married my husband. He has been incredibly supportive and has watched me grieve my brother for years. Meanwhile, my brother drifted further away. He missed my graduation, birthdays, my move into my own place, and many other milestones. He got married in secret. Apparently, we missed his wedding, and he missed major events in my life too. By late 2025, he had started pulling away from my mom as well. One Christmas, she sent him a heartfelt message and received a heart reaction. By New Year's, he wasn't responding at all. Eventually, she confronted him and asked why he was treating her this way after everything she had done for him. He sent a thumbs-up reaction and didn't reply for 6 months. The reason I'm writing this post is because he recently reached out again. He talked about wanting to reconnect with the family, about his achievements, and about how empty it felt not having family to share them with. My mom listened, but she made it clear that any reconciliation would have to include me. What reignited all my anger was finding out that he and his now wife are apparently upset because they heard I had been talking to relatives about what happened. The story they were told was that I had been bad-mouthing them to multiple cousins. The reality is that I told a few trusted family members on my mom's side that we were no longer speaking and explained why when they asked. I did tell 2 close cousins the full story because I was deeply hurt at the time. The cousin they were referring to on my dad's side was only told that we weren't on speaking terms, and that was it. Me talking to the other cousin wasn't true. We aren't close. Frankly, I'd do it again. They had already blocked me, cut me off, and made it clear they wanted nothing to do with me. They have a way of twisting words. What frustrates me is that after everything that happened, they still seem angry at me for telling the truth. They claim I made them look bad, but I don't understand why that's my responsibility. After that phone call, he's been messaging my mom from time to time about what he's been up to, but she mostly responds casually. She admits it isn't the same anymore and that she's grown tired of the situation as well. The first time they talked again, she also told him that she's exhausted and has even contemplated cutting him off completely. She removed his now wife from Facebook, and he later asked if that decision was really hers. That question bothered me because it felt like he was implying someone had influenced her. And after everything that's happened, it feels like I'm always the one being blamed. I'm sick of it. This situation still affects me more than I want to admit. Sometimes I'm working, scrolling on my phone, or staring at a wall, and suddenly I'm overwhelmed by the hurt and betrayal all over again. My husband is furious on my behalf because he's seen me cry over this for years. I don't know what to do anymore. Part of me misses my brother. Part of me is still deeply angry at him. Thinking about forgiving him honestly makes me sick to my stomach because it would mean accepting that his wife will always be part of the picture. I don't know these people anymore. I don't trust them. I don't even know if I feel safe around them. Sometimes I feel like I would get slapped again because things would get ugly if I started speaking, or yelling, out of anger. I never had the chance to say my piece or protect my mom and the rest of my family from stress. I'm exhausted. I'm tired of being angry. I'm tired of carrying this grief around. But I genuinely don't know if reconciliation is worth it anymore. How do I come to terms with reconciliation if the time ever comes, or should I finally accept that some relationships can't be repaired? My mom knows about this post, so any advice for her would also be appreciated. Thank you for taking the time to read this.